At the end of the day, we need to offer a ridiculously high level of service. We need to brand ourselves in our local community as being willing to do that. This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 140 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
All right, we're talking Zillow becoming brokerage.
I mean, what else is new?
Everybody's talking about that.
We're always talking about Zillow.
Talking about the social dilemma.
Yes.
Bracket number 2. And then we have an amazing Marketeer of the Week. The biggest surf park is coming soon to Florida. Biggest surf park of all time. Bigger than the one in Australia.
I don't know that I like your new technique here. You're disclosing all of our topics.
Yeah.
Because now people are like, you know what? I'm good.
Well,
I'm
if they just want to go.
Done. You just lost them. Bye, guys. And that's the real word.
First of all, let's break this down, Nicole. Every single successful YouTuber does this. We are not successful YouTubers. We are just YouTubers. So maybe we should start doing this, and then we'll become successful.
Maybe.
YouTubers. All right.
Does anybody even listen? Is anybody out there?
They're out there. Put it in the comments if you're out there. If you're on Inman, you can say Inman. If you're on YouTube, say YouTube. All right. Inman article number 1. Patrick Kearns, Zillow to hire agents as employees for iBuyer transactions. So people saw this headline. This came out right after we did the show last week. And people said, oh my God, it's happening. What they said they'll never do, they're doing. They are becoming a broker. If you were paying attention the last 18, 24 months or watching this show, if you were really out there watching this show,
right,
you would know that we already said it because Zillow said it themselves. They are collecting broker's license right now throughout the country as part of their Flex program, right, where they're now accepting referral fees. It was interesting. A real estate agent in my feed off of last week's topic when we were talking about should you disclose referral fees,
right.
Somebody in my Instagram comments said, well, why would you do that with Zillow? It is a pay to play. No. Hello, you're in real estate. You don't know what's going on. Zillow's doing referral fees now. So it's not pay to play.
But not everywhere yet. So maybe she's
basically everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, basically everywhere. If you are in a market that has transactions, it is basically Zillow Flex now. They call it the Flex Hybrid. They're letting the agents that they're weaning off still pay to play. And then they're having these growth partners where they do the referral fees.
Right.
Zillow doesn't want you to pay to play anymore. They want to do the referral fees, which is why they've been collecting these broker license. And we've gotten into this many times, but they don't want to work with everybody because not everybody offers the level of service that they want to the end consumer.
Absolutely.
So that's why they're doing the referral fee. And in order to get the referral fee in every state, Zillow Flex, they had to get these brokerage license. Now, what they're saying here with this news is that they are hiring agents as employees. So they're going to make licensed agents now W-2 employees to handle their Zillow deals. Zillow offers the Zillow transaction. Zillow buys a home from the homeowner.
Right.
They paint it, do whatever. They put it back on the market. A Zillow employee is going to handle that process. What they said, too, was that they have found that having a W-2 employee rather than an independent contractor, like majority of real estate agents in the industry, has been basically a more consistent process for the end consumer.
And it'll bar them from engaging in any other real estate activity outside of the scope of their work at Zillow.
What they're saying there, and that's a good point.
Well, but we've always talked about that though too. Even just like within the team, like, does it make sense to have them as employees? Will they like?
Well, because here's the thing. This line right here is very interesting. Real estate agents that are independent contractors, they're entrepreneurs. They got into that business to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Now they're saying this is going to bar them from engaging in any other real estate activity because they're a Zillow employee. So obviously they can do that because agents will chase after the next shiny object. It's like, oh my gosh,
squirrel.
Start a staging company. Oh my gosh, start a painting company. Oh my gosh, home improvement. Oh my gosh.
Well,
this. Oh my gosh, that.
But,
oh my gosh,
but it
this.
also is saying out of their work at Zillow. So they're also not necessarily even able to put like mom's house on the
real
market.
estate. If you're going to be an employee of Zillow, your real estate work is going to flow through that employment.
Right.
You're not going to go be starting these other businesses. It's kind of like, and basically really what they're looking at is you're going to work on our transactions. You're not going to go and work on this buyer deal or take this listing over here that's not
Right.
a Zillow owned property.
Right.
They want to have this consistent
Right.
approach. But okay.
Well, which again, for some agents, maybe is a relief because then they don't have to go after the business. The business is, I mean, they're just getting a paycheck now.
So
I mean,
they're going to be listed by these employees rather than the local brokerage and listed on the MLS. Now, here's a couple of things. If you don't think that Zillow will scale this deeper into the future based off of this having high success now, you're kidding yourself.
Right.
When Zillow first came out, they were an ads platform. They have completely shifted here since Spencer Raskoff is no longer running the show and Rich Barton again is running the show. Rich says we are a marketplace now. We're a marketplace. Okay, so this is where people come to transact, where before it was a place for agents to buy ads. So they're a marketplace. They've said that. They've stated that clearly in 2019. Now, as they continue to grow into a marketplace, if this works where their employees are doing a great job and they're having trouble getting their growth partners, their flex partners to update the app and do all these things that agents just literally aren't doing well, then
or to convert.
Then they'll start to do like they did in 2019, pilot markets of flex. They'll start to do pilot markets potentially of having their employees.
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, based on this, I don't think it's potentially. I mean,
right. And you could say it's just going to happen.
This is happening.
Now, I think I don't want to go a whole number of ways here. I think you should be focused on it being a lead pillar for you, meaning Zillow, but not your entire business. So that's just a whole nother discussion. You go back to past videos on that. The big part of this news is not what's coming in the future. How many employees is Zillow going to have running real estate transactions? The big news on this is Zillow just bought the MLS without having to buy the MLS.
Right.
Think about it.
Well, yeah.
What have we always said? We're giving them the data for free. Well, now being a broker in 50 states and signing up to the 620 MLSs, however many there are right now as we sit here in the end of 2020, Zillow has the right. They're going to join National Association of Realtors.
Of course.
So if you have if you have a bone to pick with Zillow, if you have an ethical complaint, you could take them to an ethics hearing. They're going to be a realtor.
Right.
So Zillow's going to be National Association of Realtors. They're going to be in the MLS. They don't have to steal the data. We're just going to feeding it directly to them. They're going to have They're going to have the best information now.
Well, and it's going to be the most thorough. I mean, it's going to be the entire U.S. MLS.
I think they started getting these broker license because of Flex and because of buying homes. And then I believe the light just went off.
Well, I think they saw a weak spot. I mean, there is a little bit of a weak spot in the real estate industry. I mean, it's like prehistoric.
Let's just go and hook up to the MLS. That's the biggest news. They are now going to be part of NAR, and they are going to have direct feed from the MLS. So their data is going to be good. You can't now go around and say
talking how slow it is or delayed they are or
it's just not
how much information they don't have.
It's not going to be true. Jay Thompson, who of course everybody knows online, has always been on Facebook forums and private, groups and all of this talking about Zillow. And he's, there's a lot of people that were writing him. We'll link up his article as well on Inman, where he writes that you're missing the point with the Zillow news. He writes that, hey, a lot of people are coming back on me saying I said Zillow would never be a brokerage. And, he's going back in time and all this kind of stuff. But he makes the same point that I'm talking about now, where Zillow is going to become a member of the MLSs. It's going to join NAR. And people are screaming for NAR to ban their membership, for MLSs to lock their feed. And listen, if Zillow is going to be a broker in-house transactions, then yes, it should join MLS and NAR. But it is now just basically, whether you look at them as just doing the referral fee and taking 35% of all these buy-side transactions, they are the biggest broker in everybody's market.
Absolutely. Well, okay. I mean, that's not anything new.
And listen, they've got more money than any brokerage. Open Door, by the way, they just got another infusion of cash. They're now valued at $4.8 billion. They're bigger valuation-wise than any brokerage right now as well. Like the landscape's changing here, folks. So, and Jay goes on to sum his points up with the fact that basically you've got to, offer a higher level of service.
Right.
He talks about his own experience in buying home, how difficult it is, how much it sucks. Like, he didn't enjoy buying a house. It's a hard process. He says that the agent job is hard as well, but unless we just suck it up, agents, and realize it's a hard job, clients can be difficult at times. At the end of the day, we need to offer a ridiculously high level of service. We need to brand ourselves in our local community as being willing to do that. We also have to be a little bit more professional in the way we get clients. Like, they want information. They want to have the data, the education. They want to know somebody that knows their market inside and out, that can actually offer them advice and not just open a door. Zillow's going to have employees that can open plenty of doors.
Right.
You don't want to be that type of agent.
Right.
You want to be the obvious agent of choice because you have the information and you have the biggest brand in your market. And Jay's right on the money on that when he sums it up. Offer a higher level of service. This is what every move Zillow makes. That's what it's all about. Them offering a higher level of service than the individual agent can. I'm not worried about this news. You don't look worried.
I'm not worried.
No, because you're building a brand locally.
Well, it kind of is what it's. If it's not Zillow, it's going to be.
It'll be somebody else.
Schmolo and.
Schmolo.
Yeah, Schmolo.
By Nicole White, the Schmolo brand.
And then it's going to be the other agent that just got their license. That's it's always going to be somebody. You stop sitting around. That's
the other agent
that
just got their license is going to have a tough time. The individual agent's going to have a really hard time unless you're super high-end luxury. I'm talking the median price points here in most markets. They're going to have a very tough time competing with the teams that are growth partners with Zillow, companies like Zillow, companies like Open Door, companies like Redfin. Where does that individual agent on an indie broker fit in full-time trying to make real money in about 5 years? They don't. All right, racket number 2. That's not a racket.
Heard it here first.
Racket number 2. I haven't watched this documentary. You have.
I've been telling you, you got to watch it.
I will.
Do you not want to? Do you think it's like...
I think I already know what they're going to say.
Okay.
So I don't... I'll watch it.
I think you should.
Everybody's talking about it.
It's a really quick one. It's like an hour and a half long. It's super quick.
It's not multiple episodes?
Nope.
Okay.
Just an hour and a half documentary, real quick and easy. I
should have watched it last night. I lost a couple hours of my life watching that debate that I'll never get back. That was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
It was I don't even know that there was anything to watch. I feel like it was just.
It was terrible.
It was like my kids arguing in the back seat.
I should have watched Netflix, The Social Dilemma.
Yes.
How the social dilemma relates to your business. Rachel Haidt wrote this for Inman. And so she breaks it down into 3 categories. The presentation, talking about the actual documentary. She was a little disappointed in how the creators just assumed consumers have no idea how manipulated they actually are on social media by algorithms. I would agree with this for an adult. You've got some points that for kids, obviously.
But even as an adult, I mean, obviously you know that you're being manipulated, but like the documentary goes into how educated. I mean, so some of these code writers were writing code to get you to literally every few seconds check your phone. Like, these notifications are on purpose for you to then re-engage, because the longer you're off your phone,
which I've turned all those off.
Yeah, you should. But still, like the scrolling is like slot machines. Like, so I think what it goes into is not just so much about the fact that you are being manipulated, but the amount of like effort and teaching and code writing like that is going into and again, all these guys, I mean, when you look at their credentials, like they were at Facebook and then they were at Google and then they were at Pinterest and then they were on Instagram. I mean, it's pretty much the same 5 guys just rotating around making each of these apps. So but what's going into it though, where one guy said that he had to actually write a code to get himself to not be addicted because he himself fell into the trap that he himself had written. I guess I hear her, but I'm like you said.
I mean, here's
so
the thing,
kids,
though, like,
they did talk about children. They talked about they did talk about the fact that girls in middle school from 2009, like suicide rate has like drastically increased.
All that stuff is real and it's legitimate with our youth. We're going to take the youth out of it for this.
Yes, because it's about your business.
Because it's about your business.
Yeah.
But you made a point, and we're just talking adults right now, that this code writer had to create another code for him to stop using his phone as much.
Yes.
You know that if you drink too much, you're going to get hungover.
Well, but I keep doing it.
But you keep, not all the time, but potentially there are times where maybe you'll have a couple of drinks extra that'll make you hungover.
Right.
You know this, yet so many people, like, especially watching this, real estate agents, 95% of you guys drink, right? Like, it's in our industry. Everybody's drinking, having doing events or whatever. The old broke agent joke is like,
well, it's the same exact
drinking.
thing though. They're triggering the same thing that alcohol is, and the same thing that drugs are.
Right.
Like it's releasing endorphins that make you feel instantly gratified.
My point is, no matter how much you know you're being manipulated or don't know, it's still a personal choice. You're still choosing to go out and have that drink or choosing to go and kill 3 hours on the Instagram feed. The other part of it is like you'll hear people blame Facebook or Instagram or TikTok for feeding them a specific type of content. They're only feeding you content that you have searched on your own and shown a pattern to really research and search. I don't know if they got into that in the social media.
It certainly went into the fact that, what my online experience is so vastly different than your online experience, and what Sam's online experience is and what my husband's online experience is. Even with us living in the same home, like what my husband is being fed and what I'm being fed, which again, they really sort of went into the fact that that's why, obviously entering voting season here, like why we're so polarized.
That's exactly right. Like if your algorithm is feeding you one party information, right? We're in a two-party
You're not even
country.
Getting the other half of the story. So that's why you're like, what? These people didn't read this article. How can they still like so and so? It's like, I never saw that article, but it's on purpose.
You're getting fed 99% of your feed information that says, CNN is fake news. The minute you see the other side, you just automatically say fake news, right? Like there's that going on. So, and I'm not saying that it is or it isn't fake news. I'm just saying that when you see something over and over and over and over again, because that's the side that you believe in, it reinforces that you believe it more. You go deeper into that,
of course,
into that category or that division.
So I do have to kind of disagree with her a little bit though on the presentation, because I think that there are a lot of people in this world that don't know. I mean, I look at like my mom and like my in-laws, like they're still answering those phones, giving their social security number over the phone. I think a lot of people.
I mean, I see it with some. I actually walked into a client's house one time, and they were in their late 80s, and they had a desktop, and the desktop was like making sirens, and it was like telling them to do weird things, like in a weird voice, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what should we do?" I'm like, "Unplug it out of the wall, like throw it out the window." I don't know, like turn it off for sure.
Yeah. I do think that there are more people though that are not realizing how manipulated they are.
Yeah, I guess
I
do. I would say that there are certain people that just don't get it. But I would agree with this article. I give human beings, I've always given human beings the benefit of the doubt. I feel like people do know it, just like I know if I have, 4 or 5 drinks, I'm going to be feeling it the next morning as opposed to 1 or 2 drinks. That there's certainly, I can try to convince myself that night, if I drink a couple extra waters, I'm not going to be hungover. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be hungover that next day because
I think you're also kind of comparing apples and oranges, because because again, we're talking about what are you being fed to? So I mean, that you're having alcohol, what the outcome is, but things are being fed to you on your screen.
I have the option to go to the search bar and just look up what I want, or I have the option to take it in the face.
Well,
off
although
of the
on
feed.
Facebook, that's not necessarily true, because obviously now there's sponsored posts where these people are now targeting
I don't have to be in the feed. I can go directly to my private Facebook group and just engage there. It's choices, folks. You can say, well, I was at the party and they just kept funneling beers down my throat,
I totally
or you can choose to go sip on some wine in the corner.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's kind of, I'm feeling like I'm understanding what you are saying 100%. I just feel like it's a little different on this end,
But different how? People don't have a choice on their phone that they chose to buy? Nobody even made you buy this damn thing.
No, I hear you. I'm hearing the choice. I'm agreeing with the choice. I'm agreeing with the choice.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with the choice.
All right, so the consumers, the realities are spelled out, are real and dangerous, but one major element missing from the film, what I just said.
Free will.
It's all the idea of free will.
Okay.
There are manipulations for sure. And what she goes on to say is children and teens are especially susceptible. And we agree with that for sure.
Yeah. They don't even know better. I mean,
correct.
They don't even know better.
No, I mean, think about it. You and I grew up without.
But that's also the point though. Like these people want my daughter to feel fat because they then want to sell her the skinny pill.
Well, they say social media for females in particular, like, grade school, high school.
It's horrible.
It's
the chart
worst.
is like, and they said that it started right in 2009, which is exactly when, social media really sort of. It's frightening. No question, it's frightening for my children. It's frightening.
As we look at it from the real estate business perspective,
right?
She gets into the third category here, advertising, and the number one thing that she's cautioned agents the most about when it comes to advertising and building a brand is no one should ever feel tricked into working with you. What I love about YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or any of these platforms that us as agents have the ability for free, a lot of times if we just put in the work to create content and get our message out to more people, is that we can really show who we are, right? And people are pretty up to speed on when they're being tricked. If they're watching a video of like, you see those people all the time. I see it on YouTube, the ads of like, do you want a business where you sit at home in your pajamas and you do nothing and all the money just keeps flowing in? Those are people trying to trick you.
Right.
But if you are now educating your market on here's the numbers in the market, here's how many homes are available, here's how many are selling, here's what it looked like last month.
Right.
Here's what it looks like maybe next month. Here's the stats. Here's the data. Here's the trends. You're showing people that your business. You're not tricking anybody. You're just providing information. And to me, these platforms give us the best opportunity to do just that. And I do not believe for a second that these social media platforms are going to go away. They're going to evolve into something else that's even deeper than what we're doing right now. Of course. Like it's just going to go.
Well, the amount of data that they have, I mean, maybe Facebook's going to become a brokerage.
She talks about how we have to stop romanticizing the hustle culture, which pressure agents to churn out content like a 24/7 news cycle. I'd say I kind of call that a racket, meaning...
You do?
I call it a racket of like, you better be churning out content.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, because you like churning out content.
No, that's what I mean.
Yes.
So like she's saying we have to stop, like, just start encouraging housing industry to build contents that benefits the consumer. Yes. But if you actually want to build the biggest brand,
but she's going on to saying that there seems to be so much pressure on agents to become influencers.
That's a great point.
Yes.
And here's where I think we'll provide our biggest takeaway here is do not get on these social channels to become an influencer, because then you are leaving your business, you're leaving your clients, your buyers and your sellers. Like you're leaving them out to dry. You're not focused on the main thing, which is to provide the best service to your buyers and sellers. If your whole mindset is I want to be an influencer, like I do this show, I do that, a lot of social media content for my real estate business. I'm a real estate business person first.
Right. So I think as long as your influencer is for your business.
Yeah, but I hear what she's saying.
I hate to call myself an influencer, but I very much run a business that's based on influencing, but it's really just to bring more value to my business. I think
what she's saying
but I hear what she is saying, and I agree. I mean, and I think that you see a lot of that on even on HGTV though, with all of the agents on there. I mean, they're influencers. I'm certain that they're selling homes.
You will be disappointed if you think you're going to get to the Ryan Serhant level of influence, or the, I don't know, name another one, right? Of that level of influence on social media. If you're if you're making videos
for that purpose,
yes, the video is going to resonate with no one. If you're making a video to actually bring information and educate of value, then you're going to have a better chance of actually converting for your business. You're doing it for your business, right? Generating leads, awareness, brand,
It's very interesting that she brought this documentary in as like a real estate spin.
I thought it was a great spin. It is a good little piece. It's a quick read. We'll link it up. All right.
But I need you to watch. I'm
going to watch it.
Please watch it.
Sam's got to go. We got to run a quick Marketeer of the Week. And the Marketeer of the Week is America's biggest artificial surf park. It's coming to Florida. Along with 800 new homes, Willow Lake's a 200-acre development will include at least 800 residential homes, 600 hotel rooms.
Oh,
little risk there.
So it's not like an exclusive. So the 800, it's not just like whoever's in the neighborhood gets to use it.
So we got the hotel.
So now it's like a Disney World.
400,000 square feet of retail, big risk there, and 125,000 square feet of office space. Another big risk. A lot of risks in this. Marketeer of the Week. Anyways.
Well, they're just spreading their risk.
This surfing center and village is going to bring 1,000 jobs to
Fort Pierce.
Yeah, Fort Pierce. And it will be the largest surfing park.
I mean, it looks beautiful.
In the world.
It's blue. It's like a big lake, but it's just a big blue lake.
Put that photo up.
And now there's going to be waves and surfing. And then what's this? Is there like is that where you hang out while you're waiting to surf? That little pool below?
Probably get some Mai Tais or whatever they do there.
I'm going to have to start following them on Instagram. It looks amazing.
It's going to bring a whole bunch of jobs. I would be scared as heck if I was, the developer of this project, thinking about all the hotel, retail, and office space. But when I just look at the surf parks, that's a growing industry. I guess there's a dozen of them that are under construction
I have to be honest, though. I think that this is a really interesting time to get into all of those, though, because now what you'll probably end up doing is maybe going back to more of that sort of motel hotel where you have, exterior entrances. There's probably not going to be a ton of, I think if you work
like townhome hotels type of thing.
Yeah, like I think if you work it that way, I think that you'll be I think
the hotels will be fine.
A lot less COVID safe.
Yep.
Even your offices, don't have shared spaces. Have every office has an exterior door. I mean, I think that we're walking into something that it's so funny. Do you watch movies now and you're like, whoa, they don't have any masks? They're spitting. You guys are spitting on each. It's
I don't.
It's so funny how we're now all reprogrammed. But I think it is a really interesting time to be getting into the business, though, because I think if you're ahead of what's going on, I mean, it would suck if they were already built, but
no, it starts in 2021.
Right, but I'm just saying, now it's you kind of you change. You have to pivot. Everyone has to pivot it. COVID safe.
What I like about the Marketeer of the Week is they're launching in 2021, or they're going to start to build. They're launching now. They're getting this information out here now. They're allowing people, especially that are passionate about surf, to engage with this project now. I do think...
I like the shtick, though. I mean, where else have there ever been a little surfing community?
No, this will be, they say, probably the best one. So... And I do think communities have to have a major draw to them to pull off.
They want an
hotel,
experience.
retail,
Absolutely.
And office.
I mean, we've always talked about the experience. Yep. Yeah.
All right, so job well done there, and
we'll have to go check it out.
I gotta watch The Dilemma.
Yeah, do it. Do The Dilemma.
Yeah, I'll watch the Social Dilemma.
You have a daughter, so
who watches YouTube? And I hear the videos she watches. It'll be like little kids.
Yeah, I mean, that's why my kids are just
it's like teaching her to complain.
They're watching hands just open eggs. I mean, it's a very interesting...
All right, I'm watching The Dilemma. If you've seen it, let us know in the comments. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Keep it real.